apostles on a journey to worship to other people in other places about God. God gives his apostles instructions on what to do on their journey. Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is about Jesus answering John the Baptist's followers' questions, which was, "Are you the one we have been expecting, or should we wait for someone else?" Jesus answered, Go tell John what you have seen. The blind receive sight, the crippled can walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf can hear, the dead are brought back to life, and the good news is being told to the poor. This is showing how if you put your trust in God, good things will come to you. Chapter 12. Chapter 12 is about the Pharisees' hostility, how Jesus and his disciples were walking on the Sabbath day, and Jesus' disciples were hungry, so they began to pick bread and eat it. But then the Pharisees saw this and called to Jesus and said, "Look, your followers are doing something that is against the law to do on the Sabbath day." Jesus then replied to them, "You have read what David did when he and those with him were hungry. David went into God's house. He and those with him ate the bread that was offered to God. It was against the law for David or those with him to eat it, only the priest to eat it." Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is about how Jesus came out of the house and decided to sit by the lake. Then a crowd of people sat around Jesus. Jesus sat in a boat while the crowds stayed on the shore. Jesus started to tell stories to the people to teach them many things. He sat and told many stories, but the followers came to Jesus and asked, "Why do you use these stories to teach the people?" Jesus replied with, "Only you can know the secret truths about God's kingdom." Chapter 14. Chapter 14 is about how King Herod, the ruler of Galilee, had heard what the people were saying about Jesus. So he said, "This man really is John the Baptizer. He must have risen from the dead, and that's why he can do these miracles." Before this time, Herod had arrested John. He had him chained and put in prison. He arrested John because of Herodias, the wife of Philip. Herod's brother, John, had told him it's not right to be married to Herodias. Chapter 15. Chapter 15 is about God's law and human traditions. Then some Pharisees and teachers of the law came to Jesus. They came from Jerusalem and asked him, "Why do your followers not obey traditions we have? Your followers don't wash their hands before they eat their food," Jesus answered. "Why do you refuse to obey God's commands to follow those traditions you have?" Thank you for listening.